It's time for today's travel and cruise industry news. With the latest from travel and cruises around the world, here's your host, Chillie Falls.
Hey, good morning and welcome to the Monday Travel and Cruise Industry News podcast. On this, the 29th day of January 2024, coming to you from somewhere in the vicinity of the Bahamas. There's Gary Older Than Dirt sitting here waving at me. I'm located on the Norwegian Epic. We're right near the Maltings Whiskey Bar. That's right behind me here. This was the place that John suggested that would be a good place to try my shows, and it is so far. All right, to bring you up to date on happenings yesterday, and today. First of all, the breaking news this morning, we're canceled out of Great Stirrup Key. This is 4 times in a row that I've tried to get to this island, 4 times that I've tried to get on the new accessible tenders, and 4 times that the weather says, nah, you're not going ashore. So we got an unscheduled sea day today. It's, the weather here, it's 69 degrees, 22-mile-an-hour winds. That's just enough to bother the tenders, I guess. A little choppy, but, it's one of those days where, yeah, I could see it possibly being a problem. If it gets any worse, it could be really bad. But then it's not going to be much of a beach day for these guys anyway. 69 degrees and breezy. Yeah, no. So anyway, that was the breaking news about 2 hours ago now. Yesterday, embarkation went, that was pretty smooth. It's the first time I've been to Terminal 3 on a Norwegian ship. And the parking, all right, so how to get if your vehicle is used for any kind of disability equipment, they let you park for free, okay, at any of the ports in Florida. Well, obviously, with the lift from my wheelchair, I fed into that one. Last time I was out of Port Canaveral, I didn't think about even asking, and I went in the building there at, I think I was 5, wasn't it? Terminal 5. The building was right there, and it was easy peasy, even though I paid for it. That one worked out really well. Well, I knew I was smart enough to go early and drop off my luggage, which I did. And then when I went around to the guy that directs you into the parking and collects your money, I asked about it, and he says, "Oh yeah, your vehicle is perfect for that, but you have to go, instead of going in the building, you go up there and turn right, and you have to park out there." I had to go past 2 big lots that were fenced in with no entrance to a third lot where I could get in. And I said, well, I could go on the far end of the lot, which is closest to the ships, instead of out here street side. So that's what I did. And there was handicap parking places. So I pulled in the handicap parking place, and I went about, getting the scooter unloaded and getting the car ready to be stowed there for the week. And then I get on the scooter not on the scooter, on the chair to roll out of there. And there's no place to get out. I had to go all the way back, all the way out the same way I'd come in, all the way back on the wrong side of the building. It was a pain. So about an extra mile of rolling in the chair, which that's okay. Then our first little meetup in the afternoon. Well, first of all, I had trouble with Wi-Fi. So I go down to the Wi-Fi office, and I said, man, I can't get on at all. They said, oh, yeah, it'll be at least 3 o'clock. And I said, why is that? Well, the system has to reload all the passengers. Now, folks, I'm sorry, but I realize at times Norwegian may not be quite as forthcoming as you'd like. And that just sounded like a crappy story to me. I know the ship has Starlink, so I was looking forward to that. So I went back about an hour later. Still, the systems, it'll be a little while. Just wait another half hour. It'll be ready. Okay. So I left again. My first meetup with the group I had here at Maltings, because I thought that would be a great way. I was not counting on this being as slammed crowded as it was. The ship is full. I knew going in that, hey, Ken, I knew going in that where I normally like to do things like this was going to be bad at Oceans. So I said, well, we'll do Maltings. And Amigo John had said that this was a really great place. Well, it was equally as crowded as every other place. So I had one little place that I was sitting and had a table that I spread out all my name tags and stuff. And quite a few of the people came by and got their name tags. And by then I'd found out that Norwegian, unbeknownst to me, had changed the solo meetup, the big one, with the other solo group and the Norwegian staff member until 7:00. So that screwed everybody's dinner plans up. So that was a little uncomfortable, at least, because that didn't work out the way that I had planned. So I had breakfast this morning, and a few of the guys, a few of the folks did come for breakfast. So I had a nice little, breakfast meetup. Of course, the plans have changed for the day now because everybody that was going ashore, including me, can't. So, but that happens when you're cruising. Finally, I went back at 5:00 yesterday to the Wi-Fi office, and they were gone. They take off from 5 to 7 for dinner. So I said, well, crap. So while I was sitting there in the office, I tried again and finally got on. I got the Wi-Fi going. I got the app going. Everything was fine for about 20 minutes, and then it's gone. Completely wiped out again. Nothing. And then I couldn't get it back on again. No Wi-Fi. I wasn't happy. So I went on to dinner, went on to the 7:00 meeting, met the new Norwegian guy. Unfortunately, he's a totally different personality than I got spoiled by on the last 2 cruises with the Norwegian guy, but we'll see how this works out. He's from Peru, I think. He doesn't have that friendly vibe that like JoJo had, for instance. But anyway, he took a bunch of them onto dinner in the Manhattan room last night, which was great. I had already eaten early with a couple of the group in Taste. We had breakfast and Taste this morning, by the way, folks, and breakfast was fine. So after the 7:00 meetup, I went back to the Wi-Fi office. This time I had to stand in line for like an hour. I mean, I'm not standing, folks. I'm sitting in my chair in line. Finally got up there, and by then I tried it again, and I'd gotten back on finally. So I'm still not 100% sure, but at least it's on. And from what I can tell, the signal is decent. The audio seems decent. So hopefully that subject is fixed. But it just threw everything off yesterday. I didn't get any of the work done that I normally do on the first day of the cruise, filming and stuff like that. I couldn't do anything live, of course, yesterday. So anyway, so I'll try to make up for that. All right. So let's see what we have here yesterday. So here's what went on yesterday. That's me in the terminal, getting ready to rock and roll, getting on the Epic. And this was from Hot Air Tom. That's the Epic, getting out of town. He put on the tag on that. Goodbye, Chillie. Chillie in 49 900 of his closest friends. Ship is full, folks. Let's see, what else do we have here? So one of the things I did try to do yesterday, folks, I was going to climb that damn wall. They wouldn't let me. The wind was blowing too much, so I couldn't climb the wall. If you believe that, I got some land in Florida. I'd love to say, no, that's another story. All right, the lead story today, folks. We do actually have some news. Oh, I didn't do all that yet, did I? Okay, so let's take this off. You know me, I'm going to screw things up if I possibly can. Come on, finger, let's work. See if that works better than a mouse does on this table. All right, so the lead story this morning, Port Canaveral to Homeport, the next 2 Royal Superships. Also today, we've got a worker injured on a cruise ship construction accident. Costa cancels a repositioning cruise. Carnival Dream hits a severe storm. An advisory for the Bahamas. Crew member dies on Celebrity Constellation, and lots more here at 11 o'clock this morning, coming to you somewhere in the vicinity of Great Stirrup Cay. I don't know where, sailing around in the water. We might be going around in circles today. Who knows? Today, folks, is National Corn Chip Day. Who the hell writes these things? Yeah, I'll eat corn chips. I'm not opposed to them. Of course, when I do Mexican, you get the tortilla chips, or well, that's corn chip. But anyway, go have a corn chip today, folks. I'm not sure I will. If you're listening via the podcast, you can always access the podcast via my blog, which is accessadventure.net, or wherever you get your podcasts from. All the big guys, just search for Travel and Cruise Industry News, and up pops the Fat Travel Guy. Will definitely leave you in trouble. All right, so let's go back to the yeah, folks, this is what you call excellent planning on my part. There it is. Okay, now let's try to do the top story for today, folks, which comes from Royal Caribbean. Their next 2 super ships, they got three ships that are on order or under construction. And the next 2 of those 3 are going to Homeport and Port Canaveral. So Royal Caribbean announced that Utopia of the Seas and Star of the Seas, that's the next 2 of the 3. I don't know about the third one yet, but anyway, both of those are going to Homeport in Port Canaveral. Icon of the Seas just sailed this weekend on their inaugural sailing out of Miami, and it's going to be homeported there for a while. We got Katie and Angela on board. Do have a couple pictures from them, which I'll get to in a bit. Utopia of the Seas is going to be a little bit different. Number one, this is not an Icon class. It's the old class Oasis class ship. It's going to be the largest of all those. But it's going to run short cruises, 3 and 4 nighters to the Bahamas. Sails every Monday and every Friday. I'm really surprised on a new ship doing shorts, but that's what they're doing. And then Star of the Seas, that's going to do regular Eastern and Westerns, and they are sailing out of longer cruises, 7 nights, 14 nights, Eastern and Western Caribbean. But both of them will be in Port Canaveral. So Utopia sails in July of this year, and Star of the Seas will sail in 2025 sometime. All right. So that takes care of news story number 1. So I will be back with some more news after a quick break from one of our network sponsors. Next story on today's show, folks. This happened over the weekend. I know Tony had it on his show, but in a heart-wrenching incident, a Navy veteran and a local nurse from Norfolk, Virginia, lost their lives in a motorcycle accident during an offshore excursion from the Norwegian Sky cruise ship. Robert Baker, 72, a respected Navy veteran. Diane Baker, 62, a dedicated nurse at Centera Lehigh Hospital in Norfolk, died in an accident while traveling along Cochumel's southern coastal highway. The Baker's motorcycle veered off the road, plunging both passengers and the bike into pretty thick roadside vegetation. It was actually several hours until they were found. So, sad story on a couple of Virginia folks down in Cozumel. The next story comes from our friends over at Fincantieri. Not the best news there, as we had a scaffolding collapse. An accident at Fincantieri's shipyard in Monfalcone, Italy, left one worker in severe condition and led to an industrial action. The contract worker was trapped under fallen scaffolding during the construction of the cruise ship Mein Schiff Relax. Trade unions at the shipyard called for a strike against the construction workers, or the construction contractors. The accident itself, they had emergency workers. Firefighters took about 30 minutes to free the worker with the help of a mobile crane. He's in the hospital in Trieste in serious but non-life-threatening condition. Contract companies working on behalf of the shipyard have been accused of lax worker safety conditions for several years. Trade unions have called for a one-day strike and urged Fincantieri to dismiss contractors disregarding safety protocols. I can't say I blame them. I don't usually, quite often at least, may not necessarily agree with everything labor does. But this is one I kind of have to go along with them. So, all right. Where's the mouse? There it is. All right, the next story today, folks. Costa Toscana's March 9th departure from Dubai, a 19-night cruise meant to reposition the ship from the United Arab Emirates to Italy for the Mediterranean summer season, has been canceled. Guests were notified of the cancellation less than 6 weeks before the cruise was to set sail. Costa Cruises has joined a growing movement of cruise lines to bypass sailings to the Red Sea due to escalating tensions in the region. All right. Boy, this was kind of a dicey one. On the last night of a 14-night cruise that included a visit to Panama Canal, Carnival Dream encountered such severe weather in the Gulf of Mexico that all guests, as well as the ship's crew members, were asked to return to their staterooms. This was done as a precaution for what could have been unsafe conditions on decks and in the hallways. The confirmation for guests, confinement, for guests lasted about an hour, which also included time for the crew members to assess the ship for any damage and other hazards after the ship cleared severe squall. Excuse me. All right. All right, the next story today. Royal Caribbean International has informed guests booked on the October 19th Explorer of the Seas voyage that the cruise has seen some significant changes. The original itinerary would have sailed from Ravenna, Italy on October 19th. After a day at sea, Explorer would have sailed to Santorini, Mykonos, and Piraeus, followed by another day at sea and a day in Split, Croatia. The cruise was scheduled to conclude again on October 26th, back in Ravenna. The new itinerary on board the Voyager class cruise sails from Civitavecchia, followed by a day at sea. It calls on Santorini and Mykonos. Explorer of the Seas will then sail to Turkey for 2 days and then a day in Cyprus and disembark in Piraeus. So everybody's airfare is all screwed up that's planning on going on that ship. Of course, they're offering all the money back and all that business. A level 2 travel advisory has been issued for the Bahamas because of unsafe and lots of crime. Has nothing to do with anything else. And they're targeting Nassau and Freeport. They just say it's level 2. Just be a little more mindful. Yeah, why don't we get rid of the thugs that cause problems in the cruise ports, guys? I thought with Nassau, you'd have gotten that done with all the money you spent fixing it up. That's just me. And finally, this morning, folks, another sad story. 45-year-old Filipino crew member was found unresponsive on the Celebrity Constellation while the ship was anchored at Georgetown, Grand Cayman. The local police boarded the ship. They transported the gentleman to the hospital, and unfortunately, he passed away. Inquiries into the incident and circumstances of the death are continuing. However, it does not seem to be there was any foul play involved. So, all right, guys, that's going to end the news portion of today. Let's go over in the chat room and see who is here and fussing at me. At least I know it's not Gary. Oh, why did I do that to Robert? Hello, Robert. I know Gary's not fussing at me because he's sitting right here in front of me. Ken's sitting here too. He's not fussing either. All right. Now, let's see if I can see this today. Steve's with us from Kentucky. Hey, Cindy. Katie's with us from Icon of the Seas. I'm glad you're here. I'm just getting ready to show a couple pictures from the Icon. I got to switch back over here because I forgot to do that. So that would be Miss Katie there in the center portion of Icon. That's Miss Angela. You know how she gets dolled up. Holy cow, look at that outfit. That was for a formal night last night. That would be Miss Katie. And now this one, folks, I didn't want to make any disparaging comments about Katie because you guys know I love Katie to death. But I think she may have had several adult beverages because she thought that was Rover. And she's all powering up and having a selfie with Rover. Katie, that's not Rover. That's a statue. I just want to let you know that. Okay. So enough silliness. Let's see. Who else is here? And what are they saying about me? I'm sure it's all bad. All right. So back to Katie. Gretchen's with us up in Ohio. Hi, Gretchen. Hot Air Thomas here. Cindy says, oh no, we were at Great Stirrup Key last March. January season, not my favorite. Wow. Sorry about that. A little sip of Diet Coke. There's Mike on the other side of the pond. Hi, Mike. Cindy wants to know, Katie, how do you like Icon? Katie says it's amazing. Dennis says, good audio and video feed. Thanks, Dennis. Cindy says, I always stay on 5G on my phone until we head out to sea, and then I go on Wi-Fi. Well, the problem with that plan is I didn't have decent 5G either. Dennis says, I checked the fares for this cruise Friday, and all the inside staterooms were available for 89%, 100% solo supplement. Yeah, that's that kind of sucks. I fuss at Norwegian a lot about their pricing. They do a lot of good things for solos, not necessarily in the dollar category. Cindy says she likes Royal Caribbean, but tend to choose Norwegian or MSC because the drinks packages are too much money on Carnival and Royal Caribbean. The only thing I like about, especially about Royal Caribbean, is now I get, 5 or 6 drinks a day? 5 maybe? Yeah, 5 drinks a day free. I don't have to worry about the drinks package because I'm not going to drink more than that anyway. Those of you that drink more than that, okay, then you got to look at the drinks package. That excuse for no Wi-Fi is rubbish. I agree. It's always been available upon embarkation. Yeah, and it clearly was not, and they clearly stayed by that excuse, and I clearly know that was pure crap. You might tell that to somebody that's on their first cruise. Tell me as somebody that's been on, 30 Norwegian ships. Yeah, no. Let's see. Sherry's with us. Hey, Sherry. Says good morning to everybody. Kenneth's here up in Pennsylvania. Everybody have a good cruise. Stay warm. Bring some of that warmth with you. Well, it's not particularly warm, Kenneth. As you can tell, I got a sweatshirt on. I did go to breakfast this morning without the sweatshirt. I got back to my room to finish working on today's show. I put the sweatshirt on. Okay, I'll get back to the chat here in a minute. Everybody knows I have a wheelchair accessible room. This is one of the most unusual accessible rooms that I've been in. When you come into the door, behind the door is like where you normally find the thermostat, right? Right behind the door is my safe. And then next to that is my sink. It's not in the bathroom. I don't know. I mean, the bathroom is tiny. I mean, it's still, I can take my chair in there, okay? I can transfer it to do business. I can transfer it to, everything's there. It's just small. except the sink, and the sink is out in the middle of the room. The desk is what I call the desk, is like next to the head of the bed, and the TV and all that's like behind me. Plenty of space as far as the drawer space and the hang-up space, and they have it for, they have the low rods for people like me that can't stand up and take crap off the high rods. They got both. But it's just an unusual layout, and I can't find the thermostat. So also, when I got up this morning, I took a couple cans of Diet Coke to the room last night. And when I got back from breakfast this morning, I pulled one of the Diet Cokes out, and it's hot. And I said, oops, the refrigerator's not working. So I did see my room guy when I left to come down here to set up for the show. He says, okay, I'll see what's wrong. Okay. So anyway, the room's just, and there's nothing wrong with it. I mean, I'm able to do everything other than there's only the two plugs, at that desk. And that's in between the bed. It's like in a little runway between the bed and the bathroom. So there's not a whole lot of room there as far as me plugging up the chair. I can't sit and work and have the chair plugged up because there's not enough cord to reach that far. So, when I got back to the room last night, I had to plug up the chair rather than working for a while, which I normally do. So I'm just, got a little schedule adjusting to do because of that. Nothing major, nothing that I'm upset about, just different. James is with us. Hello, sir. Hello, James. Fincantieri. Hey, Fincantieri. Moonfalcone. Okay. My bad on that one. Moonfalcone. Ravena. Ravene. Thanks, Dennis. Ravene. Roll the R. Ravene. The Italian is never pronounced E-E. Yeah, I know that. Ravene. There's Emily up in New York. Hey, Emily. Everybody's welcoming Sherry. Love the pics of Katie and Angela. Yeah. That's a hell of an outfit Angela had on. That's an alcohol support dog. Good comment, Dennis. Sherry says hi to Emily. All right, guys. That's going to wrap it up for today. I'm not going to get to go as short as I'd hoped. I'll have to wait for, let's see, tomorrow's sea day, and then we go into San Juan. So I'll go ashore at San Juan again. I don't know. Maybe I'll go. I might just roll downtown at San Juan. That's pretty close to the dock there. I'll do something in San Juan, that's for sure. Oh, I missed some more comments here. Sorry. $899 cruise fare. Yeah, I'm sorry. I got that. Did I say that wrong? Yeah, Emily's pointing out that I'm here at 11 o'clock Monday through Friday. Now, if I have time, folks, I'm going to do a survey of all you folks to decide if you prefer 7:30 a.m. or 11 a.m. The 7:30 show on Friday went really well. So I might just put together a survey if I have time. Maybe when I get back home, who knows? $5 drinks per day should be free on Carnival for platinum and up. I keep telling John Hill that. Yeah, it should be. Sherry says, thanks for the info. Epic is known for their odd bathroom configuration. Yeah, well, that's okay. Katie says, I never get drinks packages. I get 4 drinks a day. Yes, says the Diamonds, you get 4. They changed time, so it's 12:30 on the ship. Dennis says, that's the Epic for you. My standard stateroom was a mattress in the middle of the loo, a bedside basin, toilet in one corner, shower in the other corner. Yeah, I've seen some of those too, Dennis. Hodder says, I normally block the wood door to the refrigerator cabinet open to allow better ventilation. Oh my goodness. Gets really warm in there. I wish my room was warm. It's cold. I'm sure when we get, well, I don't know, when we get into hot weather, then the air conditioning's on throughout the ship and I'm still cold. Don't take chemo crap, folks. It screws your system up terribly. Just saying. Emily says, I'm glad Gary older than dirt's hanging out with you. And Dory, yeah, Dory had dinner with us last night. So yeah, it's a different group, but it's, clearly it's a fun group. Got a couple of the ladies that are wild and crazy too. So yeah, good group so far. It'll be good to get back to normal things today because yesterday was just so out of sync for me, and I hate that. Today is much more in sync, even though I was actually late getting the show finished as far as research and writing and stuff. I like to do that before breakfast. Well, it's didn't happen that way today. I love the deck plans for some of the suites with a garden tub next to the bed, roll out of bed into both. Yeah, no. But see how there, you spend a lot of money for stuff like that I don't. Tom, do you use the AC in the cabin? Oh, that's spelled moan. Yeah, that's my eyesight. I got to have my new glasses. Actually, I'm sitting here with a magnifying glass to read this, and I still can't read it. Ask Angela how she packs. Angela, and look at all the different outfits that lady carries. I mean, she's got to have 16 suitcases. Cindy says she'll have to check her Royal Caribbean status. Ravenna. That was not nay. New lenses definitely needed. Yes. What did I do wrong with that, Dennis? Ravenna, not Ravenna. Oh, I see what I did wrong. Ravenna. Ravenna. Yeah. I'll never learn. All right. Sherry says, so excited. This time next Monday, I'll be headed to Miami. For first experience with MSC, I need warm weather. Yep, Sherry, and you're going to be doing it with me, and I'll need some warm weather too. The Magnifica. Emily will be on Seaside in March. Magnifica. Magnifica. Did I say that right? Ravenna. Silly question. What am I reading? Oh, it's on the laptop computer, Emily, on StreamYard. I have the screen with what you guys are seeing. And then on the side, which is only about a fourth of the total width of my screen, is the chat room that I have to scroll down. Well, I'm having trouble with the mouse because of the table surface. And I tried it on paper, and I'm having trouble moving the mouse around. My fingers never have worked well, so I'm just doing it by touch today. So I'll get around that for tomorrow. But anyway, it's about a fourth of the screen total, and it's very small. And there's no way I can control the size. So, and at home, I've got another screen that I can angle where I can see it a lot better. So you'll see me, looking off to the side. Can't do that here. So, all right, guys, that's going to wrap me up for today. I'm going to go see if I can get into some trouble today. Maybe I can get caught up on some of the work that I'm behind on from yesterday. That'd be nice. Going to Maderno tonight. Be my first trip to Maderno. Churrascaria, or whatever you call that thing. It's all those Brazilian meat things. They slice them. So anyway, let's see what Maderno is like. I can't believe all the times that I've been on Norwegian ships, I've never done that. So I'm going to experience it. This time I had two specialty dinings. I'm doing Maderno tonight, and then Wednesday night I'm doing La Bistro, because the last two I did Cagney's. I love Cagney's. But, I need to do some different things. So La Bistro is going to replace Cagney's, and Maderno's new. That replaces my teppanyaki, who I dearly love too. So, but anyway, Maderno tonight, and several of the groups going with me, including Gary. Gary will be there. Patty will be there. Ken, are you going to Maderno tonight? Okay. Maybe Ken. Somebody else said, oh, I know who it was. It was, Patricia. I think Patricia said she might go. Anyway, so I have a little group in Maderno tonight. So maybe I can even do a live stream. We'll see. All right, guys, that's going to wrap me up for today, because I got to process all this stuff before I can go play. So, thanks for being with me. Don't forget, smash that thumbs up thing. That helps me out a bunch. If you haven't subscribed, if you look at the numbers, I've had a nice jump up. I'm up to 5250 now. So heading for 5300. That's awesome. I hit 230,000 on X. I still haven't decided if that's any good or not. I'm averaging over 2,000 a hit now on TikTok. So I do something there, try to do something there every day just because of the numbers. The podcast, by the way, is consistently around 2,000 uploads every day, that's terrific numbers. So I certainly appreciate each and every one of you for doing that. No news yet on the sponsorship deal. we'll see what happens. The meeting was put off till next week, but I've got my fingers crossed on that one. So, all right, guys, that's it for today. As always, stay safe, stay healthy, think about cruising, and hopefully one day soon we'll all get together on the high seas. Have a great day, everybody. See you tomorrow on Sea Day at 11 o'clock from the Norwegian Epic. Have a great day, everybody.
I regularly post videos on all facets of the travel and cruise industry. So if you like to keep up with the latest in cruise ships, ports of call, cruises themselves, Chillie chats, and travel and cruise industry news, just hit the little subscribe button in the lower right-hand corner, hit the bell notification so you'll be notified when a new video is up or we go